5 o'clock and you're off the clock. I'm B. Scott. Today, we're excited to have as our guests Otis, Lambright, and Clifton, Denny with the Arkansas Bowhunters Association. These guys are avid bow hunters. A lot of information about these guys. Today, we're going to talk about bow hunting, the 3D target shooting competitions they have, the shot placement, where you're hitting your deer at, and we're going to get into the urban hunting a little bit. It's going to be good stuff. Before we get started, everybody, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Check us out on Spotify and Rumble. Well, let's kick this thing off. We'll start with you, Otis. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got yourself into the Arkansas Bowhunters Association.
Well, I grew up hunting, with Dad since I was a kid, squirrel hunting, deer hunting, running rabbit dogs, and all that stuff. And I tried bow hunting a couple years, never was really good at it. And so coming back to Arkansas, I had an opportunity to get in and start shooting some 3D tournaments and stuff with Arkansas Bowhunters Association. I really just wanted to be a field governor with them, which, when we do the urban hunts, you have this, what we call, you do your online portion, then after that it gives you a voucher for a field day. You go to the field day, we go over urban hunt protocol, and then we go over shot placement, stand scenarios. Every year you have to do like a proficiency test, basically put 3 arrows in the kill zone and like 22 yards. So it's not something extremely difficult, but so they go over urban hunt protocol, blood trailing, and stand setup and stand safety. I wanted to be a field governor, but just got hanging out with the guys and stuff. And Clarence Taylor said he wanted me to be the vice president.
One thing kind of led to another.
Yeah, exactly. And
so bow hunting something you're obviously passionate about.
I love it.
And what you guys do, you stand up for the legislation and stuff where
exactly.
You see certain states are trying to restrict or kind of govern the outdoor hunting, in their states.
Yeah, we did that in New Jersey. They were coming against the bow hunters there, and we helped them stand up and defeat it. So,
who's coming after the bow hunters? I mean, who is it?
Well, basically the anti-hunters.
Really?
They're all across the nation, and bow hunters are probably a smaller audience of the hunters. And besides that, we get tucked into some spots other hunters can't go into, such as urban scenarios, which is what the ABA does with the urban deer management. There's a lot of deer auto collisions in Fairfield Bay, Hot Springs Village, so they reach out to us for deer management. And so there's a lot of rich elite. There's rich hunters, but there's also rich haters.
I bet.
So,
that makes sense.
And so we try to fight for, that's the 3 bullet points. ABA partners with Arkansas Game and Fish and Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry. So, if there's overpopulation of deer, we try to use that problem to create a solution, and we feed the hungry with it.
So how do you help the Arkansas Game and Fish? I mean, how do you?
Arkansas, we just work hand in hand with them, making sure we're doing things legal. Want to make sure always with hunting that you do things that are safe, and especially that are legal.
Do those guys ever reach out to you? I'm sorry, B. Scott.
Cities do, yes, sir.
So the Game and Fish, say they're thinking about maybe making a change to the laws. Do they reach out to y'all and get y'all's opinion on this
Not
matter?
necessarily. They really don't reach out to us for that kind of guidance. We just work hand in hand with them. Ronnie Ritter, he's with Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry, and then Ralph Meeker, he's a deer biologist for Arkansas Game and Fish. So I have meetings with them from time to time. But, they don't really lean to us for, they would ask questions, of course, but
yeah,
they don't lean to us for, the law. So if you don't like it, don't blame it on us.
I hear you.
I understand that. I understand that.
Talking about the Game and Fish, though, that new little deal they just put out, I'm sure y'all seen the little survey online or whatever. I wish they'd start doing that more often before they push new laws.
I know it. We're trying
to get the public opinion,
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first time I ever seen it. I didn't know it was coming, and I just log on Facebook, and I was like, "What the?"
There it is.
My vote.
Yeah, we actually got a post on our Facebook page.
That's kind of steering people to go look at it, and a lot of people I've heard are having kind of a hard time finding it.
Yeah,
on their page, it's kind of not necessarily buried up, but it's a little bit deeper.
You either accidentally see the link or you don't.
I know.
Yeah,
and I think we figured out that if you looked up public hearing on March 15th. If you look that up into the search bar, it will pull it up for you guys to look at.
Yeah, you guys need to check that out.
Absolutely.
Definitely vote. It seems like everybody's trying to pull everybody in different directions.
Yeah.
And, it just, I don't know what's right, what's wrong, but we definitely need to read the information.
Absolutely.
And have talks like this,
Yeah, absolutely.
Get people with some opinions about it together and kind of talk the issue out.
Yeah.
So, Clifton, man, tell me a little bit about you. Your backstory leading into how you become such an avid bow hunter.
Okay. So like I told you guys already, you know, I live in Grant County here, right? Which we don't grow big deer.
No, we do know that.
You're right about that.
That's right. So on the flip side of that, my third biggest deer out of all the states that I've hunted still come out of Grant County. It was a 152-inch deer.
That's a good deer.
He was a monster. Biggest deer I'd ever seen on the hoof. So, you know, I grew up just, like I told you, you know, I'm actually from Hazen and stuff like that. So I grew up White River Refuge duck hunting. That's where I cut my teeth hunting, you know. We would see big deer all the time, but then I'd come back down to Grant County and would be out here with a rifle trying to shoot them.
Looking for the 115s,
That's exactly right. Yep. So I got, and I do consider it luck. First one that I ever killed that was a Pope and Young was on a deer lease here in Grant County. And like I was telling y'all, to me, like the way my brain works, your hunt should start after you recover your last deer. Why did this happen? And back then there was a guy named Richard Font. We had a group called Team Knocked Up, and we were just all kinds of hunting information. And so anyways, we started there. And, you know, to kill big deer, I had to go where big deer grew, which are, you know, for y'all, it's like the same places y'all duck hunt, you know, really, you know, the river bottoms. And then that led into, I got pretty successful. And then talking about the game and fish, there were people, you know, it's the internet. So like nobody consistently kills big deer on public ground. So my wife's from California, Air Force, never hunted a day in her life, and was like, you should start filming. And I was like, all right. So I started filming, started a YouTube channel, and it's been pretty successful, which led me to Otis over here. So content, right? Where can you get the most content? Urban hunts. There's not a limit on how many deer you can kill, and then, you know, all of it goes to donations. So it was like, this is, for me, it was an awesome hand in hand. I could help with the deer management portion, and I could get content. And so then I met Otis, and actually at one of the shoots, and he followed Team Knocked Up too. And as I started my channel, then him and I got to being buddies. And then I also did the archery competitions. Not, you know, seriously, just go out with your buddies, hang out and shoot. It's good practice in the off season to make sure that you make that shot count whenever it happens during season. And so anyways, Otis last year was like, hey man, will you be our guest speaker? And I went out to their big deal and did the guest speaker, and, you know, try to contribute where I can as far as, you know, my YouTube here nor there, not trying to plug myself, but I'm all about the hunters, right? So I do product reviews, and I don't accept money for any reviews. And I do everything from, you know, bows, arrows, guns, boats, like all kinds of stuff. Because, you know, years ago, I found myself in a situation where I bought a stand. Back then, I didn't have any money, and now I'm stuck with this stand for 2 years, right? Because I seen a commercial that my favorite hunter said this was the best thing, and I was like,
but there's better out there.
That's right. But I didn't have the money to go buy the better after I got this bad experience. So I started doing reviews. I don't let companies pay me to say what I'm gonna do, and that's where Otis and them jumped in, because they're like, dude, like, you're doing awesome stuff for the bow hunting community or whatever. And so, you know, that kind of led to now where I'm at is I take comments like, hey, what do you want to see? Like, you know, what is a product that you want to see? And, you know, that's kind of where I got into the industry, I guess you'd say, and got associated with these guys.
I got you. And you're active military, right?
Yep. I'm full-time guard here at Camp Robinson. I'm the range NCOIC, safety NCOIC over ranges here.
So
awesome, man.
We definitely appreciate that. You know, we're all about some military, so we appreciate what you do for us and allow us to come here and do what we love every day because of you guys. So,
yes, sir.
We definitely appreciate you guys.
And thank you guys for having us on.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Let's go back to the 3D shooting tournament you were talking about doing. Tell people a little bit about that. You have one coming up, I seen.
Yeah, I think it's March 16th. It's always the third Saturday in March, so we do like 3 a year. So the good thing about urban hunting is you can hunt from September 1st till this year, February 29th. So you got 6 full months that you can actually hunt.
That's crazy.
Gives us September 25th is when bow season usually opens up, right?
Yeah.
So we get basically about a 3-week jump on everybody that we can start with our urban hunts.
And you have that opportunity to get that velvet deer.
That's right.
Exactly. And that's something a lot of people go after.
Yep. And, you know, in that Arkansas Game and Fish thing we were talking about, there's actually a vote for a 3-day velvet hunt.
Oh, really?
That they're trying to push statewide. But as of right now, your only option is the
urban system.
Yep.
So as far as our tournaments, we have 3 a year. We have one that's going to take place the third weekend every year in March, and then we have a Memorial Day tournament, and that's also a scholarship deal.
And we got something pulled up about that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So that's the one. That's the one that's coming up here recently.
Yeah. Last year he was our guest speaker. Ralph Meeker is going to be with Arkansas Game and Fish is going to be our guest speaker this year. And so March 16th is the date, actually. Yeah.
So looking for the tournaments and competitions in the future, where can people find this at on your you got a
on
website?
our website, ArkansasBowhunters.org is where you want to go.
Sweet.
And you can click the Urban Hunt link, and it'll give you all the information, all that stuff. We have like 6 links. I'm looking at it right here about the ABA merch, the scholarship program. We have a scholarship program for our youth, and we have tournament info on our 3 tournaments yearly. And also a lot of the tournaments across the state is also going to be listed on our website. The Urban Hunt information is all here. Like I say, you got to take an online course, and once you take the online course, that gives you a field day voucher. You go take the field day, and so. But the tournaments are keeping us all lined up for bow hunting. Everything's just got to be just right on.
And don't forget, whenever we're calling these things tournaments, I like to call them shoots.
Oh, it's fun
because
they are a lot of fun.
Well, you got novice,
blast, man.
You've got novice class. So like if you're a new bow hunter and you're just wanting to learn, right? Like. Yeah, I carried my 6-year-old out there last year. He won second. But like if you're new and you're just wanting to get into this, the amount of knowledge and the dudes that do this all the time that are there, and it's like a family organization. Like everybody's there just to hang out, have a good time. Yeah. So if you're twerking your bow, and you're pulling left every time you get out there, and there's an old man behind you who's like, hey, bull, you gripping that hand too tight, and you're like, what? Scares you.
Yeah, so it's a good environment to learn.
Absolutely.
Even the basics, even for people that maybe are a little bit advanced, been doing it for years.
And you can still win, right? Like here nor there, whenever I started.
There's Bo.
There's my boy right there. Yeah, his name's Bo, go figure.
Bo.
B-E-A-U.
That's funny.
Hey, I tell you a cool thing about this, though, right before this picture, and Otis can back me up. So we had ran into like 10 guys that watch my YouTube or whatever, older fellas. And we're standing there talking, and Bo, my kid's been outside since he was like 2, right? Big deer hunter. And so he's like, Daddy. And this old man's like, well, what do you want? And he was like, you see that bedding area? And the old man looked at me and he was like, did that kid just show us where a bedding area is at? And I was like,
he knows a thing or two.
He's looking for them horns.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good stuff there.
But that was my point of that. It's like, hey, you don't have to be a professional shooter. No. Like you can go out. Like
there's our president, Aaron Nixon. He was going to be with me today, but he had neck surgery. So I believe it was neck surgery he just had. That's one of our bow hunters. I believe his name's Madison. He's a killer. That's me and my family. Me and my wife and some girls from corporate, and then Clay, Murtis, and Patrick. So.
Sounds like you guys have a good time.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. It is. It's fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. Man. I enjoy it. The third tournament we have is right before season kicks off for the bow hunters.
Dude, they do door prizes? They'll be like, I don't want to give a number. It's like 200 door prizes. Like basically everybody gets something.
So who donates the door prizes?
We try to make sure everybody gets something. So like I talked to Archer's Advantage, they'll usually give us stuff, and fishing stuff also. So we ask people like Keith Woods, he's one of our bow hunter guys. We asked him to try to reach out to Max, over
and then they the other cool thing with these guys is like I go to the ABA, goodness gracious, the what is it called?
ATA.
The ATA. I'm sorry. I go to the ATA every year. Like a company will ask me to come out to do filming stuff, and you always see these guys. They're running around there.
Big Buck
all
Classic.
The new companies.
We got a really cool trailer.
Yep.
I forgot to put our trailer on here, but we got a trailer with like a 3D screen that's really cool, man.
So you're really loving this stuff, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a blast, man. The kids love it, man. Just trying to get more people into archery, more people in the hunting.
So it's a non-profit organization?
Well, actually, that's what I did want to talk to you about that. The ABA is a 501c7, but the scholarship deal is a 501c3.
So, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the urban hunting. That's something that I feel like has really gained popularity in the last...
Mainly off of YouTube.
What do you think, 5-10 years?
Yeah.
It's really taken off.
Hunt Urban, Taylor Chamberlain, and I got to meet him last year at ATA. That was really cool to me. But Taylor Chamberlain was the one that got me interested in it to start with, seeing him. And you think, man, urban hunt, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's not that way.
Well, no.
They're not...
I don't think I can catch a good bass in a stock pond.
You think, you're urban hunting, you're shooting tame deer. It don't work that way.
No,
when you go in the wood, they have a bubble that they will accept you in. When you go in the woods, it's game on.
Absolutely.
You're a predator, and they 100% know that. So go ahead.
So do y'all have land that is? You got these, I guess, private landowners that give y'all access?
POA property.
It depends. Like Hot Springs Village,
yeah.
Hot Springs Village broke off from us this last year. I don't have no hard feelings. I still hunt over there, but they have POA property in Fairfield Bay also, and that's why I was focusing on hunting those two to start with, because I don't have to ask permission. I don't like door knocking and asking permission, that kind of stuff. So Hot Springs Village, HSB, they got their own areas, the POA land we can hunt. Fairfield Bay has FFBCI, Fairfield Bay community property, that you can hunt over there. You don't have to ask anybody's permission unless you go across their land or you have to blood trail on their land. But we have other cities where you have to have the landowner's permission to hunt anything in that city.
So is there a map or somewhere? I mean, how does this work? Somebody gets on your website and they say, hey, I want to be a part of this. I mean, how does this work?
So it's different because he uses the map they use, right? But I use Onyx because Onyx, like, I pay for that. So I get to, I can see everybody's properties or whatever, and I just steer clear of it.
So you know what property you hunt? You
Well, Spartan Forge, I can outline what properties we have available.
Well, I got you.
And Bill Thompson is over Spartan Forge. Matter of fact, we have a promo code with them, Bloodhound. It gives us 20% off if anybody wants to go to Spartan Forge. Bloodhound
That's good
is the
stuff.
promo
Absolutely,
code that
yeah.
he gave us for this. He reactivated the code. But, but so I can go and highlight properties that I have access to, and I can.
And are the members able to go hunt these properties, or is this like open to the public to go
ABA
hunt?
members, and
I got you.
can hunt it.
So
Okay.
if you're part of the club,
Yeah.
You have to take
pay
a
a membership
proficiency
fee.
test every year.
Okay, so you got to take a test.
Oh, okay.
So let's say I'm part of this and I want to go hunting. So do I call you? Do I get on a website?
Go to ArkansasBowhunters.org. Just go to ArkansasBowhunters.org. Click the Urban Hunt link. When you go to the Urban Hunt link, it's going to have a link there. If you want to hunt with a crossbow, we had a girl shoot her finger off 2 years ago at Hot Springs Village. So I'm IBEP certified instructor and an ICEP certified instructor. The crossbow, anytime someone gets hurt, I guess we got to take a new course or test. So basically, it's keep your thumb down.
But
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But from the other side, from the guy
sad,
that
but-
don't run the website, the way I found out about it before I met these dudes was Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so the Arkansas Bowhunters Association page, and then what they
We
do
got a
is their
Facebook
field
page,
days.
yeah.
Like they'll post those dates.
So that's
on
in
there.
July. That'll be in July.
So
every July we start doing that.
So you go to this app, this website.
You're going to go
and-
to a link and click on IBEP certified if you want to bow hunt, ICEP if you want to hunt with a crossbow. You go to that. You have to take the online course. Once you pass the online course, you don't have to pay anything till you pass the online course. I believe it was $35. Everything keeps going up, so I don't know exactly what it is now, but it should be about $35. You pay that. Take the course, and it's going to give you a voucher for a field day. Then you pick which field day you want to come to. You want to stay on top of this and have your online portion done. I'd say by June 1.
By June 1.
So so basically the courses and all that to get involved in it kind of keeps the number of people going into these urban areas and blooding up deer.
Yeah, you just
and-
want to make sure. Yeah,
'Cause, I mean, what would somebody do? Say one of your members is in there and they're hunting and they hit a bad shot on this deer and it runs through the neighborhood, dies in the middle of the road in between 12 houses.
Yeah.
I mean,
bad news. I mean, I've seen a picture of this one dude somebody shot one, and the arrow was like it was a shoulder shot, and the arrow's like hanging out of the deer. You don't want that to happen. Of course, there's a lot of things can happen. Deflection.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that can happen with bow hunting. We just got to do the best we can do.
what does that person need to do as far as,
Shoot our tournaments.
Well, I mean,
Stay in tune. Keep practicing.
Back in the
Yeah.
day, you go to these hunting clubs down here in South Arkansas, and you get these old timers in there, and they actually wound a lot of deer with rifles.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So one thing about a bow hunter is the shot placement is in their mind.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you take 10 bow hunters and 10 gun hunters, you're going to have a better successful rate with the bow when it comes pulling the trigger.
Yep.
I believe because they're disciplined and they also practice a lot.
Oh yeah.
We will tend to miss more with a rifle because we don't shoot all year like we do a bow.
Well, you're overconfident.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? That's
That's
just
right.
like I mess with everybody. Like I hate shooting a deer. Like I shoot archery all the time, obviously, and like 40 yards is where I like to shoot. I hate shooting them at 20, and the reason being is I'm gonna pull that shot 9 times out of 10, and I shoot at 20 all the time. But I get overconfident. It's right underneath you. You're like, wow, that's too easy.
And then you're like, wait,
yeah,
that was not right.
Yeah, exactly.
What was I even looking at?
Yep,
You know?
yep.
You don't even
Exactly.
remember what you did.
You're like, what did I just do?
Did I even aim?
I'm over here shaking, trying to hit the review on my camera to see what happened.
Yeah.
But-
The sound of that shot will tell you a lot too, man.
That is true.
That whack is in the ribs or that whoop in the belly.
Yeah.
So going into
no.
shot placement, because it's
Yeah.
also important when it comes to shooting deer with a bow,
Oh,
and,
yes.
and recovering the deer, because a successful harvest isn't over till you have the deer.
That's right.
Exactly.
Right? So do we have some stuff to pull up on the screen about shot placement?
While that's pulling up, I'd tell you guys, because we were talking earlier about the expandables versus, fixed blades. Whenever I hunt Hot Springs Village, so I'm an expandable broadhead guy, but if I'm hunting somewhere tight in Hot Springs Village, I shoot fixed blades.
Yeah, that's why I shoot fixed.
It's less energy going into that deer, and they usually won't run as far. So that's why you see a lot of these guys, like every deer I shoot runs 40 yards and it falls over.
So what's the advantage of
blood trails? Blood trails, because they'll just dump. Yeah. You got twice. It's like sticking something with an ink pen versus throwing a hatchet through one. You hear people talk about the expandables and they talk about the fixed blades. A bad shot's a bad shot no matter what you're shooting.
Yeah,
that's right.
Up here some good shots here. Well, one's bad, I think, but
yeah, through the gut. You better hope you were using the expandable on that one.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the deer's going to die. There's too many people jump them. There's too many people rush in there.
That's right.
And that's the bad part about gut shot.
A lot of people don't aim for the exit.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's their number one mistake is they aim at where the arrow wants to go in. Yeah. That's not a very good shot. I would think,
yeah, that one's looking rough.
So what's all about this arrow? I mean,
what do y'all see when y'all see an arrow that looks like this, and you may not have blood right there at the initial spot, but that's what your arrow looks like? What would you think?
So if I seen this arrow, we were talking about these earlier because they were kind of mismatched. So it does look like there's like maybe some bubbles on it, but there's not very much blood. Like I'm going to consider this like a high gut shot is what I would look at that arrow and immediately think. I would go up and sniff it, like just right out the box. I'd see it and I'd sniff it. Right. But I would hope that if it was this, usually, and I think guys mess up because they think that I can go to my arrow, right? Because everybody tells you that, like go to your arrow, get your info from your arrow. If you're questionable about the shot, don't go to the arrow. Like just completely leave. Give it 5 hours. I always tell everybody if I don't see it go down, I'm not coming back for 5 hours. Doesn't matter how big or how small.
That makes sense.
Yep. And the reason being is if that was like this one, perfect example.
Oh boy.
Right. Yeah. You've got food in that. That's stomach or guts. Right. So like this arrow is a perfect example. If somebody shoots this deer, you probably know that shot was back. Right.
Yeah.
But they're gonna go make sure. Like, maybe I got the backside of a lung. That deer is probably, and tell me if I'm wrong here because you do the dog thing, but that deer is probably going to lay down within 100 yards, right? But what you're not thinking about when you go look at that arrow because you're tuned up is where's your wind blowing? Is that a big ridge and that deer just laid down over there? Now you walk up to the arrow, you're sniffing it, and he just jumped up, and now he's going to run until he dies.
If you jump that deer once, you're going to have trouble finding it without a dog, and if you jump it twice, you better get a dog, because it's they are recoverable, but the more you jump them, your odds are going down.
Pushing deer is never a good thing.
No.
If at all, you can just let it lay.
No, for sure. And that shot, that the broadhead thing, right? So whenever it's like, why would you use an expandable? If you make that shot, the same shot that we just seen with the gut, that deer's going to be dragging guts. So when you do call that dog, there's a lot more scent on the ground, or he's going to drag that out of himself and he's going to end up going down faster. Where if that was, and you're going to get some blood, but if you're shooting a fixed blade and you hit that deer back in the guts like that, there's not going to be anything to go off of. It's going to be very difficult.
This is Ryan Kirby's art we use, and man, he is a phenomenal artist. And this here, this is just like cream of the crop right here. I like this.
Yeah, it definitely explains,
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, the angle, if he's facing towards you, 45 away, quartered away, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Quartered away is always a great shot.
It always changes. Like if he's quartering to you, it's really tough bow hunting. That's a hard shot.
Yeah, I mean, I made a bad shot this year. We found the dog we found the deer with the dog, but I made a bad shot. It was quartered away.
Yeah.
And if the deer's quartered away from you and you miss your spot by this much,
exactly,
you're shooting.
You're hitting way back.
You're shooting way back.
Well, and I tell everybody because I shoot expandables. So if it's quartering away, like hold back.
Yeah.
Because if you can run it through his guts, with the big expandable, you're probably going to get one lung. Depending on how hard the angle is, but aim at that off shoulder and you're probably going to be.
Oh yeah, I made it.
You're in there.
Yeah, I made a really bad shot, didn't I?
All right, what is that right there?
Which one was this one
to you guys?
Oh man, I don't
that you thought. To me, I would think that was a heart shot.
Yeah.
I didn't make these, but you've got a lot more blood matter. It is that little bit darker color, so it's not just that bright.
It's got a little bit of bubbles too.
Yeah, I see the bubbles there. Yeah.
And that deer's not going far.
Nope, probably not.
He's not going far. He's going to expire rather quickly.
Yep.
Lever shots, you want to back out 6 hours minimum.
So you guys can tell from this one, by anybody that is watching or listening to this, if you get down to your arrow and it is covered from tip to tip in blood, that's not normal, right? That's liver. It's that slimy blood.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of guys, and I'm sure that you're the same way with your dog. I see more deer lost with the liver shot than I do anything else. Wow. And the reason being is because your arrow will be absolutely covered from end to end a lot of times because that blood's so slimy. And so everybody goes to it and they're like, ooh, that's a heart shot. Yeah. You know, and then they end up jumping that deer because a liver deer, I mean, those things can live 8-10 hours. You know, a lot of times they'll live longer than a gut shot deer. Right. So, you know, somebody comes up and like, you know, whenever I first started bow hunting the same way, I see this and I'm like, that deer's dead in 50.
Oh, yeah.
In 50, I hadn't seen him. I'm like, he's dead in 100. You know
that's right. Yeah. Then about 150, like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I might have messed up.
You get about a mile down the road and you're like, man, there's not looking good.
No beds, no nothing. But, you know, there's blood everywhere. You're like, why isn't this thing dead? But you don't realize that blood back there has got more consistency to it. You know what I mean? So
it just slimes across.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
I got you.
There's what I'm talking about. You see something like this, he's dead in 50. Yeah, you know, that's
for sure, lungs.
For real this time.
Yep, that's that. You know, me shooting a big expandable. Like I said, I hold 6 inches off a pocket, and the reason that in my theory is I can pull 6 inches towards the shoulder and I'm safe. I can pull 6 inches back and I got the backside of a lung and a liver, I'm still safe. But that's because I shoot an expandable with the fixed blade.
What kind of broadheads you shoot?
I shoot the hypodermics, rage hypodermics. Yeah, which if you ever go watch any of my videos, everybody makes fun of me because I'll have 6 different broadheads in there because I do broadhead reviews. And being down here hunting the urban, I get to shoot like 15 deer a year. So I get real time analytics instead of having to go by, you know, because wrong, or different. You get the guys up north that kill giant deer. Right. So that's who everybody goes to. It's like, this dude killed a 200-inch deer, right? Yeah. He killed 1 deer in 5 years. So what analytics does he actually have?
When it comes to looking at broadheads.
That's exactly right.
Technically, you could get the same amount of information from shooting does.
That's exactly right.
Oh,
Yep, 110%.
I shoot the VBS, fixed blade, variable blade system by Method Archery. And reason why I do is because I'm no guru hunter, but Taylor Chamberlain, that's what he shoots, and I shoot same arrow, same broadhead he does.
I got you.
So, and I like the fixed blades, but you got to make sure your arrow's tuned for them.
And you know, a fixed blade, you can go through some tougher spots on the deer. You know, it kind of opens up a whole nother window.
It does, but you know, what we were talking about earlier, it goes back to, you know, I never tell anybody, because you'll see fixed blades in my quiver and you'll see expandables. Shoot the broadhead for where you shoot the deer. And I think that's the biggest thing that dudes in the industry don't talk about. It's, you know, they back this broadhead or back that one. But shoot the broadhead for where you shoot the deer. If you're one of the guys that's shooting 25 and in, right, you're not going to take over that 30-yard shot and you're trying to punch them in the heart, shoot a fixed blade. Right. You know, absolutely. Because if you get in that shoulder, you don't want to have an expandable. Right. You know, but vice versa, if you're one of the dudes that hold off and you're trying to double lung them, why wouldn't you go with the thing that had the bigger hole?
That's right.
And you got to shoot what you're confident with.
That's
confidence
right.
level is always huge for you.
It is.
Know? So you want to be confident.
Yeah, the last thing you want to be is stuck in your head like, okay, you know, what am I going to do here? I hope I don't do what I did practicing yesterday. Yeah. You know, because a lot of times if you're not confident going in, you're going to pull the shot anyways.
Dude, and you know, here nor there, I tell everybody this, like my method a month out before season, I leave an arrow in my target and I leave an arrow on my back porch. When I get up in the morning before I go to work, everybody can do it. It takes 2 minutes. I pull my bow back and it's at 40 yards and I shoot one time. I don't go get that arrow. When I get home from work, I go grab one of those arrows, I step up on the porch and I shoot again, because that 11th and 12th shot, when you get tuned in, that doesn't matter when you're in the stand. It's the first shot.
The first shot.
So what you get whenever
like
you're
shooting
doing
a cold barrel.
Yeah, and what you get before you go, what
Makes
guys
sense.
don't realize is it's colder in the mornings, right? So you're in different outfit every time you're getting ready to go to work, where you have a hoodie, a jacket, sleeveless shirt, whatever. So every morning you're getting something different, and it gets that consistency and gets you used to that first shot kill.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
I never really heard, that's a good
practice
idea.
like you play.
Yeah,
deal.
absolutely.
You know, if you practice for what the conditions are really going to be like, you're going to be more successful.
Yep.
So let me ask you, do you guys got goals? I mean, what do you want to do with this thing? Just keep growing it, keep educating people, get more kids involved? I mean, what's your goals?
Oh yeah,
both of y'all smile, so y'all guys are up to something.
Well, you know, we want to grow it, man. That's the thing. I mean, I don't think anything should be. Anytime you got things just stagnant, I mean, what's the use? You know.
Well, I mean, that's what we believe on. You know, here at Havoc. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to grow it. We want to have get more cities. And in my opinion, if we could get more cities with urban hunts, and if anybody sees this and your city's got issues, you're tied in with city council or the mayor, reach out to us. I mean, we'll come help you. I mean, we've been doing this over 20 years, and we've never injured one person. except hunters. Hunters have gotten hurt by things they've done. So even if you're an anti-hunter, man, let us come out there.
It's one of them things where, you know,
understand.
going back to what I said earlier about the, you know, certain states are kind of trying to alter the way people hunt.
Yeah.
You know, either changing what weapons you can actually hunt with. Like in New Mexico, we were hunting elk with a open sight muzzleloader.
Which was
that's
really
a season.
which really hard.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean,
right.
if you're trying to decrease the amount of elks getting killed by giving somebody a gun that's not going to have a very high success rate, and you're just going to, in my mind, wound a bunch of elk.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, it was terrible. I mean,
Blowing
it was
legs
terrible.
off.
It was terrible.
You know, and
Yeah.
I hate to see stuff like that, you know, and especially when it comes to bow hunting. Like you said earlier, you know, it may not be the biggest population of hunters, but, you know, it's a traditional sport.
But it's coming around.
Yeah.
Like YouTube has really changed bow
YouTube has
hunting.
done
like,
a lot for
it is.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and bow
And
hunting
then you
is
got
you know,
NAS, also National Archery in the schools program. You
Yeah.
know, so getting kids involved is that's key. That's your lifeline, and that's going to be what continues archery on.
And with
So-
the urban hunts too, guys, like don't think that it's just people everywhere. It is the first 2 weeks, right? Because there's nothing else going on.
And it's
Yeah.
hot.
But
Oh,
dude,
yeah, it's
hot.
once normal season starts up, everybody goes to their honey holes,
And
and,
then when duck
everybody
season-
leaves the urban place, and,
And then
it's
when
just
duck
wide
season
open.
comes open, you know, there's even
Yeah, it
more,
makes sense.
more people leaving the
That makes
woods.
sense.
So
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
It does.
So what's going on in I noticed here in this paperwork, New Jersey, Florida, the new Arizona. Talk about, I mean, you know, they're stopping. They got some laws against hunting, or they're trying to.
Well,
do
they were
some-
trying to ban archery hunting, from what I understand, in New Jersey. And like I said, we went in with them to fight against that.
What was their reason, though? I don't understand why you would go to try to ban archery.
I don't understand what half the government does.
Well, that's true,
That's
too.
also a
Well, I
valid
mean, look
argument.
at Biden taking art. You know, we don't want to talk politics very much. I
mean,
understand.
let's hear
Some
it.
people don't, but Trump
Let's hear it.
2024
I mean,
is what I
know-
got to say.
I mean,
I mean,
see
you
the
see,
flag
you
over
see
there?
our flags. You know what I'm saying?
We're on the same page
I
here.
mean, you know, Biden trying to take archery out of the schools. I mean, like, how many people you think you're going to hurt with a bow?
I don't understand
Archery.
that.
It's the fourth safest sport that there is in the schools.
I
you know,
just,
so-
I just think it's the government trying to control people.
Exactly.
I
Bunch
guess
of
they're
control
bored up there
freaks.
or what? I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's just something I don't even know why they'd mess with.
No, I
Other
don't.
than trying to take away a little bit of people's control to go harvest, you know, food for themselves.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of
exactly.
times you see that, you know, a lot of this stuff ends up being by the government, ends up being money driven.
It is-
But when you're taking it away, now you're losing a you know,
I think
a
it's a-
revenue outcome too.
I think it's a power.
Yeah.
It's just a power.
Yeah.
You know, just want to control
Gotta be, yeah.
people. But the Arizona thing, I was reading here, Arizona hunters and voters stopped the law that would allow hunting on public land. So, I mean, what's up with that? I mean, are they trying to get everybody to quit hunting, or?
I have no.
I didn't dig into it a lot. I did look at that, you know, but I didn't go into that specific case.
Yeah.
But I know that we band
Well, it's, I mean,
together
it's
with-
everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't keep
We band
up
together with you know, legislation that's coming against the hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think that, you know, how they're
Specifically
trying to ban guns, trying to take away,
Yeah.
you know, gun rights. And it's like the bow would be the last thing you think they
Exactly.
would mess with. I mean, y'all
Yeah,
agree
but I
with that?
think I do. But I think,
100%.
and I'm not going to say the public land here in Arkansas because it's a place that I hunt, right? So I don't name drop, but it's a big cyclist thing, and it has started being a big cyclist thing. And so I don't know how much truth there is to it, but the park ranger this last year, I've made friends with him over the last few years,
Yeah.
and he was telling me that there's a possibility they're going to do this big cyclist thing. They're starting in 2026, the first 2 weeks of November. And they're going to shut it down to bow hunting during that. It's 31,000 acres. And you're going to shut this down to bow hunters so that cyclists can come in here? Bicycles, right? I'm shooting a bow. I'm not going to shoot a guy on a bicycle on blacktop. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
31,000 acres. But that is something that they're looking at bringing in, which again hurts the archery community.
You think
know?
it's all the people wanting to ride a bicycle that's complaining about this?
Or
I mean, I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt they care.
Well, we've never shot anybody's dog, anybody's cat. I mean, when you go in the woods, you know what you're after.
And especially
That's right.
bow hunting. I mean,
yeah.
you're within, like you said, your preferred shot's 40 yards.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm not going to shoot nothing, a buck especially, it's over 35.
Yeah, and 40's long.
yeah.
For most people.
And we're
yeah.
shooting at a target like this right
I mean,
here.
I know the
That-
difference
that's
between a deer
you know.
and somebody on a bicycle.
And somebody on a
That's right.
bicycle. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Plus,
now.
the guy with the bicycle ain't gonna go where I'm hunting. you
That's
know?
exactly right. That's my point too.
I
you
mean,
know?
that's just.
Yep.
just isn't right. And it's just the government trying to put their finger on something that
They're
they
doing
shouldn't.
it all across. And the thing is I know we're focusing on bow hunting, but it's not. Just like we were talking about the duck hunting and everything
The
else.
duck hunting, the deer
and
hunting,
the
the muzzle-
flooded timber and like not flooding. And it's like, what in the world? You know, that's just here nor there, Cache River Refuge, right?
Yeah.
I've got a spot that I used to bow hunt down there, and I was chasing a 200-inch deer this year. I went down there, and it's a sanctuary now. It's not on a map. There's one sign that says it's a sanctuary now. It's a duck sanctuary. But it's like, where did this come from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It hasn't been here in years, and I show up now, there's a sanctuary sign. So I flagged down the game warden. He was like, oh, yeah, no, it came around last year. And I'm like, that sign wasn't there last year because I parked my truck. Right
Yeah.
here. So
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. It's just crazy. It's mad.
And the reason we don't know what's going on is because, one, you barely hear about it,
Yeah.
right? They don't really blow that part of it up and make it super, super known, I would say. But then it's like they don't really explain why.
No.
If you do know what, you don't know the why.
that's right. Yeah.
And I feel like, people getting more connected and really going over the why they're doing it part would be beneficial, because then you could start solving problems with, that public understanding.
Yep.
Exactly.
Instead of people just guessing and being radical like, people
Absolutely.
are.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
just,
because they're changing timber across the state now.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it more of a prairie ground. They're starting that on Wattensaw right now. There's a group that Jody actually from Max Prairie Wings is kind of heading up trying to fight it, because they're going in, burning out all the thickets, cutting timber off of it. And so the immediate public thing is they're just trying to make more money.
That's
you know,
right.
when in reality, if you hunt up north, like I've got the pleasure to go up there and hunt now, there's bigger deer, it is more open, right? So they don't necessarily have to have those thickets, but what people see are the trees getting cut.
Well, we had a podcast
you know?
earlier about this. It's not necessarily what they're doing; it's what the people don't know.
That's right. Yeah.
Why they're
Yeah.
doing it.
Exactly.
So they're getting a bad name.
Yep.
Everybody's bashing them and talking bad about them, but I'm sure they got a hard job.
Knowledge is key, though.
Yeah, it is. It
so
is.
if you're not taking the initiative, there's so many, like your YouTube podcast, like there's so many different avenues to reach people now. Having the excuse that I just didn't tell you isn't an excuse anymore. There's too many avenues.
It's an excuse for failure.
That's right. Yep.
yeah, you're 100% right about that. And that's what's so great about this.
Yeah,
we can come
absolutely.
in here, we can talk about it, we can bring in people, and we encourage anybody from the Game and Fish to come over here
Oh, yeah.
and talk to us, because the more we know, the better.
Absolutely. Yeah, it can't hurt anything.
No, it will not hurt anything.
Yep.
And most of the information is misled by somebody not telling them why they're doing something. It gets blown out of proportions, and it just, this guy says this guy says this. Man, I heard a rumor this morning, and I'm like, where'd you hear that from?
Yeah.
Like, who told you that? Well, this guy told me, I heard it from a good source. Well, your source sucks.
Yeah.
'Cause that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see how things get misled,
I easily can too. And so let's move to tell me about your dog, your dog recovery service.
Well, you got to get into something before you realize you get the wrong thing. So I started out with bloodhounds, and they're like, man, you get back 3 miles in a thicket and try to get that dog out of the woods, about to kill you. And they're lazy. They lay around. I went to the Bavarian Mountain Scent Hound. They are insane trackers. The guy I got mine off of, Skeeter Snell in Kansas, his dog has multiple tracks over 70 hours old. Of course, the coyotes have already got these deer by the time he gets there.
But it's still
they get
recovered,
the-
huh?
They get the important part,
Yeah.
And not to say we want to waste deer meat. That's not what it's about. But I'm at worst case
Well,
scenario.
bow hunts for
Exactly.
the trophy of killing a big
Exactly.
deer.
The
So
pursuit is what they're after.
the
Yeah.
meat, the meat's extra. I mean,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah. It's not something you want to happen, but it does. It does happen in archery. And these are gun hunters too. He tracks for everybody, and multiple hours, multiple tracks over 70 hours old. So my dog, I've been working him. He's got 4 recoveries this year. There's a lot of good trackers. Neil White's a buddy of mine. His dog Honey, they're phenomenal. And matter of fact,
She's helped me and my kid out more
she
than
is
once.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And there's I've been on United Blood Tracker since about 2019. And I'm thinking about going to a drone this year also. So,
Oh, really?
So getting cool footage of my dog plus doing
The drone
That'd
was
be
pretty
good.
cool.
That would
Yeah.
be good. And speaking
I'm-
of the drones, it's like,
I'm talking to Game and Fish to make sure they're going to
Yeah.
let me give me
Yeah,
a
the
green
drone
light
is
on it.
legal here, right? But it's
but
not
there's
legal.
some states it's not. And
Yeah.
Which
and
crazy.
Isn't it written in a way where like it can actually find the deer but you can't go in and recover it.
I believe that's in Illinois.
Somewhere something like that. Pennsylvania, I know they took one guy's drone. I mean, deer drone recovery, you can get like, it's about 13,900, something like that, where you get 3 drones. So you get your initial drone and you'll get 2 replacement drones. From what I understand, if something happens to them, they give you extra batteries, all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing a deal from them, but I'm just saying, one of their dudes got his drone taken in Pennsylvania by Game and Fish. And it's going to depend on the game warden a lot of times, because one guy can say it's cool, somebody else can have a problem with it. So I'm already talking with Game and Fish right now. Luke Naylor, I've reached out to him, and I got his email. I'm going to try to email him in the next couple of days.
Yeah, we just had him on our podcast.
Yeah, I saw that.
What's going to happen though, right?
What?
The same thing that happens to everything else good that we never talk about in the hunting industry. One of us is going to ruin it.
Oh yeah,
like 110%. Like, and that's what sucks. People don't realize with the Game and Fish a lot of times when they take something that's away, or they take something away, it's because some idiot decided to go against, and that's what worries me with
scouting for dogs.
That's what worries me with drones, man. Is people are going to misuse them, and then we're going to lose them.
I think that's what a lot of people don't understand too. Like, if they do something, it's because they're trying to fix something to preventing it to happen again.
Yeah, that's right.
And people are willing to blame Arkansas Game and Fish, but they're not looking back and say, hey, look, this is why they did this.
Yeah. But there's got to be a stiff penalty. You got to make an example. Make an example out of somebody.
Yeah.
If you don't do what's legal, they're going to hurt you. So make an example out of them.
But instead of making an example out of people, they hurt everybody else.
Yeah. That's right.
One bad apple ruins a bunch.
No, man. Make it pay a fine.
Group prosecution is what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Prosecute everybody because one bad egg. It's
That's
crazy.
Right. That's
only works here.
It works in boot camp. It's easier that way.
Yeah.
But it works in boot camp.
But I'm telling you, them drones though, if you get a deer shot and you can't find them, from what I've seen, them drones are pretty
insane.
Pretty crazy.
That's what I'm saying, man. They're an awesome tool. It's just somebody's going to take it. What's going to happen, this is my opinion, is you're going to go out the prairie grounds and there's going to be the guy up on top of the hill with a remote control and somebody crawling into the animal. And then that's going to make YouTube. And I'm a YouTube guy, right? I have a YouTube channel. But that's what's going to happen. And somebody's going to air that hunt and then just boom, it's going to blow up everywhere. And that guy's going to make a lot of money because it's going to get a whole bunch of views, a lot of shares, but it's going to be negative.
Yeah.
And then we'll end up losing.
But it'll change the game forever.
Yep.
It'll just change it and ruin a good thing that could be really resourceful for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I mean, that part of it's terrible.
They're probably going to do that after we hear this podcast.
Hopefully not.
Well, I hope not. I mean, it's more, I would say, you're supposed to do everything within your power to
recover the deer.
That's right. Yeah.
And
to me, the fun part of hunting is finding the deer.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the goal.
Recovery.
I love that part.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
That's what we go for.
The deer either got shrunk or got bigger.
That's
Most
right.
of the time for me, it's shrunk.
That's right. Yeah.
Usually it's not the deer you thought.
I took my wife out there. Me and her mama shot a deer, and we shot it and we trailed it and we found the deer. And she's like, "That's not the deer we shot."
We found a different deer.
I'm pretty sure, babe, that's the deer we shot because we followed the blood for the last 100 yards.
Man, my wife this year, that's part of like getting into killing big deer, right? So like she doesn't know anything other than these 135 plus inch deer that I've killed the last few years. So this year I shoot one and he's a 120. Like, he's a great deer. I was plumb tickled because I don't intentionally go kill 140s. I'm trying to kill mature deer, right?
Yeah.
So I kill this 120 inch deer and I get out of the truck with it. She was waiting on me at home. I was down in Texas. I get out and she was like,
they're so bad about this.
She's like, "What is that?" And I was like, so she's from California, never hunted, likes the outdoors. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, it's a buck." And she says, "Why is it so small?" And I was like, "This." So now I'm arguing. I was like, "This is a great deer to everybody else." Yeah.
I don't know why women are like that. They don't care about our feelings.
No,
Anybody be proud to kill this deer.
That's exactly right. So I told her, and she was like, "Are you mounting it?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Huh," and just walks off. Like, she wasn't wrong.
You're like, dang it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so honest.
Yeah.
I hate it. My wife does that to me too. So just make me feel good, baby.
That's
just
exactly right. Yeah.
You've been married to me for 27 years.
That's right.
It don't cost you nothing
right.
to make me feel good.
That's exactly right.
It don't cost nothing.
Yep.
It's free.
Yeah,
You just got to do it every once in a while.
That's right.
They don't get it.
No, they don't. Well, man, I'm absolutely tickled you guys came to hang out with us today and talk. I'm glad we got to know more about the Bowhunter Association in Arkansas. It's good to hear about the things y'all are doing for the kids and the competition shooting and the urban hunting as well.
Oh, yeah.
Man, and as far as you go, being with the arrows and stuff, you're obviously putting the field time in, and it's good to see that kind of content because a lot of people, like you said, they look at somebody that might kill one deer every 5 years, monster buck, and they're using them as examples, and it may not be truly field tested.
That's right. Yeah.
And, you know, that's awesome. Everybody check them out. Check these guys out. Get on their website and be a part of this. You know, we got to protect bow hunting. It's something we all love, and, you know, we got to keep it for the future generation. So everybody, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Make sure you check us out on Rumble and Spotify, and we'll catch you next time.